Manchester United, last game of the season for us against Cardiff, the team that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has managed before, and the team that he started his managerial career at Manchester United against. Now, we hammered them 5-1 in that opening game away at Cardiff, and so much has changed since then. We went on that amazing run where we won so many games and played some really good stuff. And then it's gone the complete opposite, where we've been looking like a relegated side these last few weeks, and things have got to change this summer. We know that, but this game now is obviously a completely dead rubber to Manchester United. Really, the only thing that Manchester United could get out of this is that we could avoid having to potentially do a playoff or two in the Europa League. If we do finish 6th, then we will potentially have to do that if Watford win the FA Cup. Now, if we finish above Arsenal in 5th, we would be guaranteed to go into the group stage of the Champions League, of the Europa League, which would then not mess up our pre-season. We really do not want to mess our pre-season up. We want that pre-season away to build up the players' fitness, to get all the players that are ready for the new season, the new signs to come in and get used to what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to do. The tactics, the formations, the style of play, everything else what we want to do this season. So we don't want to have half the squad playing in Kazakhstan to playing a qualifier in front of 600 people, where the rest of the team are playing against Tottenham or AC Milan in front of 70,000 people. We don't want that. We want one team playing against Tottenham, AC Milan, them sort of teams, and not have to worry about them stupid qualifiers. So that would be nice, but I would presume Man City will probably win the FA Cup anyway, which would mean Manchester United would go automatically in the group stage. So this game would be more important to rotate the side, give a couple of players that are leaving the club a send-off, and to pick some youth. Now, if youth isn't played in this game, then I don't know when youth will get played. He does say next season he's going to use youth in the Europa League, but that is a long way off for Manchester United, and we want to go out on a positive note, because this season has been the worst season I've ever known as a Manchester United fan in the Premier League era. It certainly has anyway, in that Premier League. We've had poorer seasons before where we've got relegated in that, but this is the poorest season you could possibly think of in the Premier League era. Nothing good has come of this season at all. There's no optimism going into next season, whereas at least when Moyes got the sack and we brought in Van Gaal, there was some optimism that Louis van Gaal, track record, great manager, could bring back better times, and he got Manchester United better, and we got back into the Champions League and won a trophy. Whereas this, we just look so bleak, the future just doesn't look good enough. But if we could see some youth given a chance, and if they impress, then it could just bring a bit of positivity going into the pre-season and the transfer window in the close season. So obviously David Hill most likely be in goal because there's no Romero, he's injured. Now the back four will probably be Valencia, Shaw, and then probably Lindelof and Jones, something like that. But it's the forwards and the midfielder area which is going to be interesting. Now, he is probably going to go with a midfield three of Herrera, McTominay and Pogba, or something like that. So something around that's going to probably be the midfield three. I don't want to see that as a midfield three. I want to see Pogba, I want to see Garner in there, and I want to see Gomez in there. That would be my three. I just don't see why you can't give these youngsters a chance if we've got literally nothing to play for. Why play the likes of Scott McTominay and Herrera starting when Herrera, okay, he's been a decent player for Manchester United for the last few years, but he's leaving Manchester United. We're giving Valencia a start because he's getting a send-off because he's been at Manchester United for over 10 years and hasn't played a game for a long while. If he can't start the game, obviously he'd have to come as a substitute if he's not fit enough, but he's got to get some game time anyway, just to get his send-off. But Herrera could always come off the bench. We need to, for the last 10 minutes, if he wants to send off, if he is even going, he's going to make up his mind, apparently, according to Solskjaer, after the game. So, I mean, he's been a decent player for the last few years, but Valencia for me has been obviously the player that's been at Manchester United longer. Has won Premier League titles and whatnot. A great servant to Manchester United, so he needs his send off. But Herrera shouldn't be taken. I don't think should be starting in place of Garner or Gomez in this game. I think the future, giving them a chance, seeing if they impress. You never know when a youngster's given a chance. We saw Harrop given a chance. Okay, he's gone on to other things in the lower leagues, but he got a chance and took a fantastic strike against Crystal Palace only a few years ago under Jose Mourinho. And Angel Gomez in that game come off the substitutes bench, and since then he's played 2 cameo appearances against Yeovil and Huddersfield. Just not enough game time. You don't know if he's going to be any good unless you give him a chance. We've seen in the last 2 or 3 under 23 games he's looked absolutely brilliant. And I know some people say he hasn't had the greatest of season. He's still got around, I think it's 8 goals, 5 assists, something like that in about 17, 18 games. It's not that bad for a midfield player, for his type of midfield player playing position. It really isn't. He's a fantastic prospect, great passer of the ball. It's not always about the stats in the goals and the assists. Sometimes it's about that pass-through ball that sets up the attack. And Gomez is a very good passer of the ball, I believe, and I believe that he, even with his small stature, can have a great impact on this Manchester United team in years to come. And why not give him a chance now? Now, the forward 3 will be interesting. Now, I don't know if Jesse Lingard's fit or not. He will probably get the nod in one of them positions, but I would go with Greenwood, Chong and Rashford as the front 3. I personally would. Sanchez is apparently out. Martial apparently out. Lukaku out. I don't want to see Juan Mata starting this game. I don't want to see Jesse Lingard starting this game. What for? What are you getting out of it? Jesse Lingard's been absolutely shocking of recent times. What are you getting out of that? Why not give Greenwood a go? I believe at this moment in time Greenwood would be doing a better job than Lingard. I really do. And probably Juan Mata. So I just don't see why you don't start them. That would be 4 youth players starting. Now, we've had other youth players come into the training sessions in recent weeks. Leo Connor, I didn't see him in this one. Pushmal is as well, which was a surprise. I'm not too surprised about Levid, because Levid's had a very, very good season for the under-18s and could make a cameo off the bench. I don't think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and said that 1 or 2 youth players will start anyway this particular game. So the likelihood will be that Chong will start the game. Mason Greenwood will be on the substitutes bench, and we won't see Garner or Gomez on the bench at all. That is my thinking there, which would be an absolute shame, because if Manchester United were winning this game going to the second half, which is a possibility, Manchester United could be winning it. Okay, we've been poor in recent times, but we're at home. If we were about 2-0 up, we could bring the likes of Gomez or Garner off the substitutes bench, even if you don't start them all. I understand you might not want to start them all, and give them 30, 40 minutes in the second half. There's nothing wrong with that if we're winning. Even if we're drawing, what is wrong with that? I mean, but I don't think they'll even be on the bench. I think the likes of Pereira and Fred will be along the substitutes, and Juan Mata and Lingard and players like that, and it's just going to annoy me, because them players have just done nothing. Some of them players have just done nothing in recent times. Okay, Juan Mata scored against Chelsea, but the others have done nothing in recent times to warrant a place on the substitutes bench, and you're giving players for the future a game time where we can see if they've got the capabilities in this game. Whether they flatter to deceive or they have great games, we will find out then, and then that will give them more confidence that if he sees them have a good game, that maybe he could give them a go in pre-season, and who knows from there. You just never know. Some of them might not make it, but if you don't give them a chance in a dead rubber, when are you going to give them a chance? You don't want to give them a chance in a game where it really matters, and we've got nothing to play for. So that's my thoughts on that anyway. It won't. The youth thing, it's not going to be many get a game. We know that. It's just how it is. But it's just to get this season out of the way, it would be a softening blow to the fact that we've been so shit this season. It really would. Cardiff have absolutely been dog shit. They've lost against all the top 6 this season in the games they've played. The only one obviously left is the Manchester United away one. We've even obviously beat them away. So Chelsea were the ones that were very, very fortunate to win against Cardiff a few weeks ago when they got some dodgy decisions. So I don't know if Manchester United are going to win this game. I really don't, but we should be good enough to beat these. But it obviously a lot will depend on what side we do put out. Now, if the youth played very, very well, if a couple of the youth impressed, maybe got some assists, maybe got a goal or something, that would impress me more than the result. It really would. If we saw a Greenwood goal, a fantastic game from Gomez if he played, or Chong, then it pleased me more than the result. It really would. If we lost 3-2, 2-1, something like that, and a couple of these youth academy players had a good game, that would really please me more than the actual result, because the result isn't at the end of the day going to be huge bearing on what Manchester United do next season. Anyway, I'm going to go for Manchester United winning this game 2-1. You can't really back against Manchester United not winning the game at home against this opposition, but hey ho, we don't know. They're down anyway, Cardiff, so they've got nothing to fear. They just go there and play, but you just never know what you're going to get from these teams that have already been relegated. People say it's better when they're already relegated because they've got no pressure on them, but for them to go out and play. But some people say it's harder for Manchester United, or it's maybe easier. You just don't know. I mean, it's all what happens on the day. I mean, Huddersfield looked really up for that game last weekend, and Manchester United were shocking. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Hopefully things will get better for Manchester United next season. Just end this season on a high for Manchester United, and just let's go again. Hopefully the transfers start flooding in as soon as the transfer window opens. That's what I really do hope, that we just go bang, bang, bang and just sign 2 or 3 top players, and it would just lift the optimism around Manchester United if we were to do that. It really would, because there's no optimism at the moment. You're looking at Tottenham, you're looking at Liverpool, and the optimism on social media, the retweets, all the following, it's just going through the roof. With Manchester United, everyone is so negative. I'm following Manchester United and everything. And things wouldn't be like that, and people wouldn't be turning on the Glazers again like this if Manchester United were doing well. If we were still winning like we were when Solskjaer first took over, people wouldn't be bothered about that Glazer thing. And I know I haven't really said my thoughts on this Glazer thing much on social media, but I just don't see what it's going to do, to be honest, for Manchester United. I'm following Manchester United. It's not going to hurt Manchester United if we don't sign players in the summer, or we do sign players. It's not going to rest on people. I'm following Manchester United on Twitter. We just got to go out there and hope that the right players are brought into Manchester United to make us better for next season. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the game. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon.